Hello and welcome back to Telecomando RC. So if you've been following our videos, we've been doing a drag car build based on a Traxxas platform. We completed the build in the previous video, and here I am just going to go ahead and summarize the build, what components I used, why I used them, what I think of the end product, and then at some point I will upload a video where I test the vehicle, and then I'll have my opinion on what I think of it once it is running. So far, just to build the vehicle, I actually do like the way everything turned out. I love this JConcepts 1991 Mustang Fox Body. It is a great looking body. I mean, if you're looking for Fox Body Mustang for drag racing, I mean, it is a great choice to go with. So, well done there. I think my next body will probably be another Fox Body. I'm just going to go with a different paint scheme. So as you can see, I did install the wing, so the wing is there. Did have to trim the rear of the body for the wheelie bar, and this wheelie bar is by Proline, and I really do like the quality. It feels rigid, a single wheel. The reason why I went with a single wheel is I didn't want to mess with having to compensate on which wheel. So sometimes when you take off on these cars, the car can torque one way or the other, left or right. So then you would be sitting either at the right or the left wheel, which can steer your car one way or another. I chose one wheel because this way I can have predictability, a little more predictability of which way it's going to steer. Does it always steer left? Does it always steer right? And then I can just kind of tweak it from there. I just figured it'd be an easier setup, especially since this build was targeted for beginners into a drag racing build. So again, the body, highly satisfied. The Proline wheelie bar, I think, is a great choice. There are some other options, such as the carbon fiber options. This one I think is a much easier install since everything's already assembled. You just have to install the 4 screws. But this is the body. I'm going to remove the body. So what we ended up using here is we ended up using the front end off of a Bandit VXL. You're going to need the front arms and turnbuckles from a Bandit. You can use the brushed version, but you will not get turnbuckles. These will actually be fixed, so you get these fixed pieces of plastic, which, to be honest, work fine because it's a drag car. It's just meant to go straight. But if you get the VXL, you do get actual turnbuckles. So this whole front end and shock tower is from a Bandit VXL, so Traxxas Bandit, and the front shocks are the stock front shocks, so no changes there. The whole front assembly with tires is the stock, except for this here. The actual body mount, this top mount, this is actually off of a Slash. So I took the Slash body mount and screwed it right on. That is all I did. So this you will need from a Slash. I had both vehicles and I turned both vehicles into one. And remember, you're not taking 2 vehicles and making 1 vehicle. You can actually take 2 vehicles and make 2 vehicles. You can take the Slash and the Bandit and make a drag car and a rustler. Just the parts that you remove from one, put them on the other. But let's just say you didn't care about that. It works great. Take the 2. Say you have a Slash that isn't working or a Bandit that isn't working. Just take the 2 and make a working car. Now these posts were from, I took the post and I cut them. So this is the part that I cut off to lower them to make them fit. So I just cut as much as I needed to make the body fit so that I had the correct height. Now, yes, you can buy adjustable posts. If that's in your budget, great. Here we were trying to reuse as much of the hardware as possible to have a quality end product. Now the remaining part of the post I used as extensions here. So the rear shock tower is also from the Bandit. So I just took links, drive shafts, arms, everything. You can use the transmission off of the Bandit VXL here. So you just need the rear end and the front end from the Bandit. Now the rear shocks I did change. These are actually the GTR shocks. They're meant for the front, so these are just the long. The ones that generally go in the rear are the XX long, so extra long shocks. I just used the long shocks, and the springs are actually for an E-Revo. They are the black springs for an E-Revo. And the reason why is the oil in here is actually much thicker oil. I actually use diff fluid or diff oil. But you see the suspension is still fully functional, which is what you need. You cannot lock the suspension, you cannot limit the suspension. It has to be, the shock has to go through the entire travel. So that's the reason why I went with front shocks in the rear. One, my arms, notice they stay relatively flat, so I don't have to worry about the car starting off high, because I wanted stiffer springs so I could use thicker oil so that as it accelerates it doesn't squat all the way down. I already have an angle here that's similar to what I want, so I don't really need it to squat much more. I mean, this is good enough. That's the reason why. If you go too soft of a suspension, it'll squat too much, hit that wheelie bar, and it may bounce up. Those are one of the things. Keep in mind that funny cars, for example, don't have rear suspensions. It's just a fixed axle in the back, and that's it. If you look at some of the old school drag cars, those are pretty cool. They have something called anti-squat, which actually lifts the rear. But here it's very difficult to add anti-squat. In order to add anti-squat, you would have to remove the transmission and then put some plates in here so that you could take the angle of the rear arms and angle them upward. That's anti-squat. So anti-squat has to do from the horizontal level, say this was 0 degrees, and then the degrees that you turn the front part of the rear arms upward. So it's difficult, but you can do it. You're just going to have to remove these screws, make some modifications here where it mounts on the top, and then possibly, depending on how much anti-squat you add, instead of 6 mounting points, 1, 2, actually it's 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you may only have these 6 down here. You won't have the top 2. Just depends if you want to try it out or not. Now the chassis, all of this was taken off a / two-wheel drive donor, which is why, and it was also a VXL model. That's why we have the VXL steering belt cranks. You notice the servo saver is in there. You can see the spring right in there. This is also the same steering belt crank that's on the / 4x4. This is off of a 2x4. The servo was already mounted. This was already here. You don't need a donor, to be honest. You can just use a Bandit VXL and just buy the / LCG kit. It comes with the Nerf bars, the lower chassis plate, top chassis plate. It comes with different springs, which I may actually swap out. I'll see how these do, and then I'll see what to do. But it comes with the hardware too, so you have all the screws that you need in that little bag right in there. So you don't need a Slash and a Bandit. You actually only need a Bandit and this here. But if you go this route, then you're going to have to buy the body mounts, which isn't a big deal. This was $35 plus tax. And then the adjustable body mounts will probably run you $15, $20. I don't think they'll go over $25. So So if you think about it, you know, about 60 bucks will get you what you need. So you don't have to use a Traxxas Slash. In the front, I just kept the Bandit tires and wheels. So here I have the wheels and tires. I'm just gonna run these. I mean, this is a way, if you're just building it, a way that you can save some money. You already have them, might as well use them. And then you just need the rear wheels and tires. So this is what I went with. And the rear wheels, you want just the Slash rear wheels, which are the same wheels as the Slash 4x4. So if you just buy Slash 4x4 wheels or Slash 2-wheel drive rear wheels, because the offset is different, that's what you need in the rear. And then let's see, other than that, I have light oil in the front, mainly because I want the front end to be responsive. As soon as this comes up, I want the arms to be fully extended, so that I can hopefully have some steering. That's the reason why I'll test it out. Maybe I'll go lighter, but this is pretty light as it is. I mean, you can see. And then the rear a little stiffer, just so it doesn't squat too much. Electronics, you can just use your stock VXL electronics. They work great. With the guys I'm going to be running this, we do not have a VXL class or even a Titan class for the 12-turn motor, although those would be very, very cool. So that's a way that you can save money. Just reuse your electronics. To be honest, the Traxxas electronics are very good to get you started and going. Just bash and have fun. The only reason why I have a Hobbywing Z-Run XR8 SCT ESC is because, one, I wanted to. Two, I already had the ESC. And once in a while, we're going to be bashing, and we're probably going to be using 3S on this. Maybe we'll start using 4S, although to be honest, 2S is more than enough. 3S is going to be overkill. 4S, forget about it. I don't know. At that point, you're just asking to break some stuff, like your wheelie bar. The motor is an LRP motor. I don't know. Maybe in the future I'll put in the VXL electronics and then just try to convince some of the people to just do a VXL class for drag racing. Our standard class actually uses a 15.5 turn motor, and then it's open. You can use any motor, so this is really for open. But that's the way it works. Although, check with your local shop or wherever races are taking place. Usually if you get at least 3 people that want to run a class, they'll open up a class for you. So that's something to keep in mind. I just can't convince anybody to stick with the VXL electronics, although I think they're pretty cool. And you just need a wheelie bar. And the wheelie bar, like I said, this feels very rigid, high quality. It is a nylon plastic wheelie bar with a large wheel, and again I decided to go with one wheel just to try to predict the steering a little more once it comes off and it hits the bar. So other than that, that is it for my setup. The only thing I have left to do is just charge up a pack, wait until it's not so cold. Today's pretty cold outside, and then take this drag car out for a spin and see how it does. So that being said, again, summary, front and rear off Bandit VXL, rear shocks, front GTR shocks with E-Revo springs, oil, I actually used diff oil, just got the slicks in the back, front are Bandit tires, use a Slash chassis. If you already have the Traxxas servo, Traxxas servo is more than enough. This was just installed in there, so just use your 2075 Traxxas servo. It's a drag car, you're not going to be turning very much. And just the wheelie bar from Proline. And don't forget the really cool bodies that JConcepts produce. They don't just have Fox bodies, they have some other bodies, but man, I love this body. So keep that in mind, that's really all you need. Electronics as far as transmitter receiver, if you have the Traxxas transmitter and receiver, just use that unless you have some other electronics that you want to use. But anyway, that's a summary on my drag build based on a Traxxas platform. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you can figure out everything that you need based on this video, and you can see that it really isn't that expensive, and you don't really need a huge part list. You really just need a kit and then just a few parts. And that's it. So thank you very much for watching Telecomando RC, and we'll see you on the next one. Make sure to like, subscribe, share. Be good.